Hi everybody, I'm Wanda Collins and I wrote a book called The Land of Rill. Let me give you a little taste of what you might find inside. It was getting on about half-afternoon and the friends knew they had to get back to the bridges before sundown. I didn't think about it before, but he had never seen anyone on anything except the bridges until yesterday and today. His curiosity got the best of him and he had to ask, "Why do you have to be on the bridges before sundown?" They all turned to him and looked for Jasleen to explain. She swallowed hard. Let's get on the bridge first and then we can talk about it." They all hurried along to the drawbridge. "It's darker than I thought," said one of the friends. "Be quiet and just move faster." They heard the warning bell that signaled the last call before the drawbridge would be lifted. They moved faster. They made it to the drawbridge. The bridgeman was getting ready to lift it. "Is there anyone behind you?" he asked in a worried voice. "No, just us as far as we know," Jasleen answered, and then a chill went down their spines. A child was crying behind them. Everyone turned, and about 400 feet from the end of the drawbridge was a child about 4 years old, moving as fast as her little legs would carry her. A woman on the drawbridge yelled, "Janest, where are you?" She screamed when she saw the girl on the ground. A howl came from the direction of the child. They all paled, and their blood ran cold. The child's mother was frantic. Zebediah didn't hesitate. He took off at a run. He didn't know what the howl was, but it wasn't a rasset. He got to the little girl and scooped her up and turned to run back. His path was blocked by an animal out of nightmares. It walked on all 4 legs and was thin. Its coat was shabby, but clearly muscular. It had huge tusks on its lower bite and small tusks on its upper jaw, a flat nose and scars on its face. It stared intently at Zebediah, then let loose with what might have been a bark, but sounded more like a witch's cackle. Drool formed on sides of its mouth. The bridge man had to raise the drawbridge to keep the creature from gaining access to the bridge and ushered the group of young people up the bridge. Zebediah looked for a weapon. All he found was a little stick. It broke when he tried to wave it. He looked for a tree to climb, but the branches in the trees were too high. Another creature showed up under a tree, then a few more. He started yelling and waving his arms, and the little girl did the same. The creature moved back slightly. Zebediah edged closer to the bridge, but was still a long way off. Everyone on the bridge started yelling and trying to scare the creature. It didn't work. Even throwing items didn't work. Just then, one of the flowers the Dwillians used on the bridge railing for light at night, a moonflower, began glowing near his feet. He saw the creature jump back. About 3 feet away, another flower opened and glowed. The creature snarled at it and moved a little farther away. Under one of the creatures, a flower opened and glowed. The creature yelped and moved away. The creature seemed to be afraid of the flowers, but who knew how long that would last? Zebediah took advantage of the fear and leapt to the nearest flower. Another opened about 2 feet away. He stepped over to it. Slowly, he made his way to the bridge, hopping from one flower to the next until all the while holding the child, speaking calmly to her and saying funny things to make her giggle. She realized what he was doing and she started pointing out where the flowers were blooming. There were people now gathering on the bridge. Beryl showed up as soon as he heard what was happening. He immediately went to the drawbridge. He yelled to Zebediah, "Keep going, boy! We will lower it when you get close enough to jump on." The crowd saw what was happening and held their breath. The mother of the child was being consoled, but her sobs could be heard. It broke his heart to think this mother would lose her child if he failed, so he was extra careful to land his hops as close to the flowers as possible. Zebediah came to the last flower. It was 20 feet from the end of the drawbridge. There was snarling and snapping happening all around them. There was a creature between him and the drawbridge. He looked up and looked directly into the eyes of the mother on the bridge. How could he get past the creature on the drawbridge? Beryl was talking to the bridge man. They nodded to each other. Beryl yelled to Zebediah, "When I say go, run as fast as you can." Zebediah nodded. Suddenly, Beryl yelled, "Go!" and Zebediah ran as fast as he could, limping badly on his leg. To his shock, the drawbridge came down fast and furious. The creature didn't stand a chance. It was crushed by the drawbridge. There were more creatures right behind him, though. He could feel their breath on his heels and saw them coming from all sides. As he got close to the drawbridge, he saw it starting to raise again. He tossed the little girl to Beryl, who handed her off to Winnie. Winnie handed her off to someone standing next to her. In one last jump, he leaped and caught the bridge about waist high. Beryl grabbed Zebediah and yelled to the bridge man to raise the bridge faster. Zebediah felt a tug on his pant leg. A creature was hanging out of his pant leg. It was dragging him down. He grabbed for the rail on the side of the bridge. Beryl leaned down to hit the creature. The bridgeman stopped raising the bridge for fear the creature would climb up. Everyone was yelling and screaming. Winnie found a heavy stick near the bridgeman's hut and ran it to Beryl. He leaned over to the end and hit the creature with the stick with such force the creature was knocked to the ground with a piece of Zebediah's pant leg in its mouth. Winnie and Beryl grabbed Zebediah and helped him onto the bridge, and the bridge man began raising the drawbridge again much faster than before. Winnie and Beryl slid down to the bridge. Zebediah was exhausted. His shoulder hurt, his ribs hurt, his left leg throbbed. He lay there with his eyes closed for a long moment while everyone crowded around to see if he was okay. Zebediah opened his eyes to see everyone's faces staring at him, holding their breath. He grinned.
"You sporties sure know how to show a fella a good time."
Everyone let out a nervous laugh. So that's my little taste of the Land of Vril.